Hi beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren
And I'm Maureen.
So before we get into today's episode, I feel like it's important to disclose you guys that if you notice any weird movement by me, it's because I hurt my neck and it's taking a bit long to heal than I expected.
Yeah, her neck is a little bit stiff, so please forgive us for that.
Right.
Yeah, so on to today's episode, we stumbled upon a very interesting clip of Dr. Omar.
Yeah, and in this clip, he was trying to explain his point of view about interracial marriages, and we thought that it would be interesting to bring it to this platform and just discuss about it.
Yeah, so share your thoughts with us on what you think about this episode, but let's just jump into it.
For a fact, I'm gonna marry a black woman, but some white women are fucking fine. They got some naturally. Some of them have those hips. Naturally, they look beautiful. What's the issue with a black man such as myself? If I know that I'm going to end up with a black woman and have black kids, what's the issue with dating a Sarah or a Jennifer just for a little bit?
When the vegetarian goes into the supermarket, you don't think they mouth waters at them ribs, that chicken, them shrimp, them deviled eggs, that mac and cheese, the greens with the turkey juice? They want some. But why don't they? Because it's not in the best interest of my health. So even if you recognize a white woman may be attractive, it's not within the best interest of the long-term health of the black community for you to marry her, date her, cohabitate. Because even if you date her, what are you sending? What is the message you're sending to all the beautiful young African girls, queens, and princesses in the community? I'm not good enough. You see that? So even in the dating, you're projecting negative energy to the women in your community. Now you say, oh, I just want to have sex with her, have some fun. Well, you better be careful with that. Because one phone call and you'll be the next Jonathan Majors. It does not benefit you to go outside of your race. And it definitely doesn't benefit the community. And if we look at this from economics, because ultimately marriage is about economics, right? Mm-hmm. When you die, all of your wealth is going over to that woman. Women live longer than men on average. So whoever you marry, black or white, she's likely to outlive you. It doesn't happen all the time, but in the general average, it does. You're going to leave all this money to this non-African woman, Kobe Bryant, marvelous Marvin Hagler, right? And we can go on. And these women ain't thinking about putting none of that money back in the black community. Why would you take from us who need so much and give to a group who have already stolen enough? Financially speaking, interracial dating, marriage is financial betrayal to the black community. You are literally stealing from your people and giving it to your oppressor. It's absolutely unacceptable. And what black men don't understand in the dating game is the reason why so many Caucasian women are willing to be seen with black men, even though they don't like black people, is because you are a fetish for her and you're the only man she can exercise control over. The white woman ain't ruling a white man. On average, the white woman does not control the white man. She knows that because he runs the society. But a black man, oh, I can control him even if he make more money than me. Remember a couple years ago, Ezekiel Elliott and his girlfriend on the Dallas Cowboys? They got into a little whatever in the house and he taped her. She said, call the police. You still black. Yeah, you Ezekiel Elliott, but I'm a white woman. She told him to his face, I'm a white woman. Jonathan Majors white. She said the same thing. You're black. I'm white. It don't matter. You the big superstar. I will destroy you. Look at what they did to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is the most successful black media personality in modern history. He opened up the door for everybody. No Bill Cosby, no Eddie Murphy, no Cat Williams, no Steve Harvey, none of them. Bill Cosby opened up the door for Richard Pryor, who's the GOAT. You understand me? Look what they did. Look what white women did to Bill Cosby. Money is not power. Status is not power. Power is power, and power comes from the group. And guess what? My people, they own the courts, they own the cops, they own the banks, they own everything. Do me dirty, I'll destroy your career. Look at Tiger Woods. That white woman divorced Tiger Woods. She took $1 billion of his estate. She was a nanny. Tiger Woods' ex-wife was a nanny. She a billionaire now off that Negro. That's why he can't win no more, because he keep thinking about the $1 billion.
That was a hell of a play on her part.
And why do we keep getting played? And do you know why we can't leave the bunnies alone? See, when you say she's attractive, she might be attractive, right? You got some Caucasians who look like sisters. 5'5" thick in the thighs, right? But guess what? Can you really isolate your nuanced attraction for this white woman from the inferiority you've been made to feel your whole life? Can you really separate your nuanced attraction for this white woman from the fact that you have this yearning to be equal, and you see in her, and you see in a relationship with her, the possibility of maybe the white man looking at me a little bit more different? An oppressed person can never separate the consequences of the oppression from any decision they make. From the house you buy, the car you drive, the women you marry, your oppression is always operating somewhere within the perimeter.
So guys, before we talk about the words of Dr. Omar in this video, you know, his words got me thinking. And I remembered us watching here in Africa, or at least here in Kenya, us watching popular reality shows from America. Apart from the Kardashians, there's this popular show that they used to call it Wags.
Yeah, and the franchise that we really followed from beginning to end was the LA franchise, you know. And in this program, we used to see a lot of black athletes married to white people or biracial people, but mostly white people. And most of them weren't married to people who looked like me.
Right, black women in short.
Yeah, the only person I can remember who was black married to a black woman was Shea Ajiro Tutu.
Right.
The footballer Shea Ajiro Tutu. And then we usually asked ourselves, why don't they marry black people, you know? And when we had Dr. Omar speak today, we decided to dig deeper into trying to find
asking
answers.
the question why not black women? Why are a big number or a big ratio of black men in athleticism marrying
white people?
And we found quite some interesting clips, so let's watch.
Yeah.
And I'm more than convinced that that is a big reason why we see so many black athletes date white women too, or date outside their race. You know, there's a dynamic with, you know, these white athletic teams because white men own those teams. They try to mask it as preference. Oh, I just prefer to date outside my race. But it's not really you preferring them. It's really you using, you know, I'm going to use white women as an example. It's really you using white women as pawns. Oh, if the white man dates white women and I date white women, I'm that much closer to being just like the white man. No. Honey.
I just watched a video about how D1 athletes only date white girls, and it's very true. I went to a PWI in Birmingham, Alabama, very small, go Bulldog. And in this video, the girl talked about how the other athletes would essentially harass the players who dated black girls. Well, it probably also comes from coaches as well. And I was a little cheerleader, okay? But I wanna make a distinction. Just because you're D1, there are levels to that shit. So whenever we would play a big SEC school, you better believe we got our booty stomped, just destroyed, demolished, okay? But either way, it was very cliquey. Like, you were either in a sorority, then you were only in the sorority. But if you were on an athletic team, you were like, that's all you did. You ate, slept, and drank that team. So me as a cheerleader, you know, I only hung out with cheerleaders for the longest time. Sometimes the dance team. And I also had a lot of friends on the volleyball team. So whenever we'd go out, we'd always go pregame with the volleyball players, and I might have classes with them. I love them. Like, hey, Corinne, if you see this, love you. And I would occasionally make a friend outside of that, but it was very cliquey, and I was just only with the cheerleaders, essentially. Anyways, we're at the PWI, right? There's not a lot of black people, but there was a basketball coach who shall remain nameless. Anyways, whenever I would see this basketball coach, I think the first or second day, we walked past each other once. Then we saw each other again later, and he's like, young lady, there's not a lot of us who look like this out here. We gotta acknowledge each other. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I can get behind that. Like, 6 months pass, and I always see him, and we're getting friendly. I'm like, hey, coach, how you doing? Good, how you doing? This and that. He might see me out and around town when I'm like on a date with white boys, and he didn't say anything. He'd always just acknowledge me, like, oh, you know, you better take care of this young lady, this and that. I'm like, okay, great. So then fast forward to 2020, and coach comes up to me, he's like, Sage, what are you doing after college, after you graduate? I'm like, oh, probably move back to North Carolina, this, that, and the third. And he goes, well, you should hit me up sometime. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you know what I mean. And I was like, I literally saw you out at a restaurant with your wife, so I don't know what you mean. I don't. And if they're not dating those black women, they're definitely still trying to sleep with them. And that is because we are viewed as pieces of meat and nothing more. So you might think the athletes are bad, but the coaches are probably worse.
I can tell you very quickly and precisely why black athletes...
Excuse my attire, but I just got out the pool. but I played college football. I ain't start, but I was there. They was there though. This is what I want people to understand. When we got out of practice, they was there. When we had weight training, they was there. Spring game, they was there. Homework, it was kind of systematically set up to where like these girls would be helping players with their homework. And look at it from a perspective of a black kid who comes from basically nothing. You know, and his whole depiction of black women are what he see on TV or what he see around the way. And when he get to a college campus and he got a chick that's willing to do whatever. Hey, are you hungry? Hey, do you need a ride? Hey, you need some money? You need a place to stay? This was before NIL. Motherfuckers was broke. So they're just going along with whatever because it's survival of the fittest when you playing. Ain't no money. And them white girls are doing it the whole way through. Now, granted, you can't trust all of them because I had a homeboy who was messing with one of them, and when he played around with her, she logged into his student account and deleted all his classes for the next semester. So beware, they don't fuck around. But that's why them draft couches look the way they do, man. When you in them colleges, campuses, that's what it is. Black girls some of them would come around, but they wouldn't fucking around until the game. A lot of them wasn't in the gym. And just being straight up, unless they were already in a relationship with somebody, black girls weren't just hanging around the fucking football facilities like that. At the school that I went to, they weren't. I had me a couple of mayonnaise mafia members, I ain't even gonna lie, and I ain't even start. Could you imagine what it would have been like if I was actually catching touchdowns there? But just because I wrestle with you don't mean you're gonna get the title. I always knew that I would end up with a black woman. I'm just saying you need to understand why the way shit is the way it is with these NFL athletes or NBA athletes and when they make it.
Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party?
So I have a story time about this. When I was in high school, I had a teacher that was a basketball coach and a football coach. And his daughter was dating a football player and that was going to go D1. We all knew he was going D1. And the way he would talk about him was so slave mastery. He would be like oh yeah, their kids are going to be big. Their kids are going to be great athletes. Like just goofy stuff. And one day I became friends with one of the basketball players and he told me, he said, yeah, when we date black girls, they encourage us not to. They say they're bad for our image and we should date white girls. And when we are dating black girls at the time, they basically like harass us on the team. Makes sense. It makes perfect sense because these white girls be coming out of nowhere. I'll be like, I ain't even know the draft picks. I didn't even know the draft picks yet. And they're already walking down the aisle with these white women. Hilarious. Really scary. Actually terrifying. Only proving that black women are superior because why is it even that serious? Look at.
So guys, as Dr. Omar said in the video clips, in his own opinion, he feels like black men marry white women because of their inferiority complex. I don't know how true this is because I'm not a special expert in this. So those are just his words, and you guys let us know what you think about this in the comment section. But one thing I have to point out though that he said, he talked about, and he mentioned quite a few examples. He talked about marriage being at the end of the day about economics, and he was talking about if a black man marries a white woman, you know, he's taking opportunities from black people, he's taking resources from black people. How is this happening? Because they create this vast estate and wealth. When they die, they leave all this to the white women, who in turn never bring it back to the black community through businesses, through whatever you call it. They never bring it back. So
yeah, and he also explains in the point of view of white women why they choose to marry black men even though they don't really truly love them. In his own opinion, he says that white women, most especially those who go for black men, are tired of being told what to do with by white men. So they come to marry black men because they know that black men will hold them in high regards. Hence, they know that the ones who are going to be controlling that relationship.
Guys, let us know what you think about this on the comment section, because I know this is one of those episodes that's going to be controversial
and everybody will have their own opinion. So today we are really interested in hearing what you have to say about about this matter. You know,
he also talked about Tiger Woods, and you know the interesting thing is that the woman Tiger Woods married was a white woman, but
nanny.
She was a nanny, and when she ended up leaving him, she left him as a
billionaire.
Damn,
That's every girl's dream, man. It's not only the white man. Not in a bad way.
Right. So I don't know, you guys, let us know what you think about this in the comment section, because we are aware that there are those relationships that have worked between a black man and a white woman. But in Umar's own opinion, he cited an example which I loved of a vegetarian. You know, when you as a vegetarian, you walk into a supermarket, you understand? It's not like you don't see the chicken, you know, I don't know how to call it, but you know, you start mouth watering, you understand? It's not like you don't see the piece of steak there that you don't want to take it, but it's the discipline you instill in yourself.
Do not go for the chicken even though it looks better than the vegetarian food you have.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're looking at what is good for you. And Omar says, you know, what
interracial relationship
is not good
in the long run. It's not good for black population.
I don't know, you guys, let us know what you think about this in the comment section. We don't want to get so deep into this because the last time we created a video about biracials and it got quite heated, but a few people felt insulted, and these episodes are not meant to
insult anybody.
Exactly.
It's solely meant for educational purposes or to create awareness and to entertain.
Yeah, so remember when you're leaving your comments, try and be respectful, because YouTube will delete some comments if they feel like they're violating their community guidelines. All right.
And with that being said, please remember to leave a comment, and if you're new to our channel, please remember to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.